Et yo tout le monde, c'est Clément, j'espère que vous allez bien. Bon, en tout cas, ça va nickel. Aujourd'hui, je vous retrouve pour un nouvel épisode sur Vampyr, l'épisode 5. Je le tourne à la suite de l'épisode 4, celui-là, comme l'épisode 2 et 3, je crois. Bref, j'ai pas joué juste avant. Enfin, si, j'ai joué juste avant, mais pas joué de mon côté. Ça, on va direct continuer la mission principale. Donc là, il faut aller à Whitechapel. Retrouver Dorothy Crane, je crois. Je crois que c'est ça. Ok, bon, du coup, je suis niveau 10. Direct aller à Whitechapel. Je sais plus où c'est du coup. Je crois qu'il faut que je passe là-bas. Oui, je passe là-bas. Oh. C'est vrai qu'attends, du coup, j'ai des compétences, je les ai pas équipées, je crois. Alors, ce sang, je sais équiper toute seule. Ok. Je sais. 190 de sang, c'est énorme. Non, attends. Si, peut-être. Non. Non. Je crois qu'elle me procure. Bon, je sais plus, attends. Normalement, de toute façon, il y aura des gens, donc. Je vais pas aller là-bas. Le niveau 18, ça va, mais voilà quoi. Là, il y a un gars, on va tester sur lui, tiens. Ça. Ouais, ça me bouffe quand même pas mal de sang. Je fais pas mal de dégâts.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
C'est quoi ça? Engagez-vous, ok. Belle, s'il te plaît. Merci. Oh, je peux pas passer par là, faut que je passe là. Ça marche.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Ok.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town.
Ouais, j'ai cru que j'ai pas
Perhaps you
analysé.
could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Ok, question personnelle, j'ai rien. Bilan de santé. Fatigue.
Do you need assistance?
Please.
There you go.
Very funny.
Goodbye, young.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets.
You've wasted
Not me.
your life away. What?
Shooting a boy in the middle of the street.
Vois
Not the
pas.
best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Ok, désolé, je viens de recouper le son comme un abruti. Bien, je suis un gogol.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Intéressant.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
Okay.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Chaud quand même.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
J'ai tout dit, non? Ouais.
A gun?
J'aurais un traitement pour la migraine, je saurais donner. Ok. On va y parler, je vais les fouiller un petit peu un peu partout. Je pense que je vais faire ça hors cam.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can... Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Ok, donc là on va devoir une nouvelle quête. Donc j'ai tout fait, non? Ouais. Fais-en faire, montre-moi ce que tu veux faire, toi. Coûte ultra cher ce que tu veux en gros, faut se calmer hein. Bon, allez. Darius, Petroscu, Joe Peterson, inconnu.
Most of them don't speak it. Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part?
Sorry.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
What is a
He goes.
So
Whitechapel.
that's quite
Not at all.
Why are the new
There's a war going on.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
Have you any...
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Goodbye, Mr.
Ok. Je pense que j'ai parlé un peu tout le monde, non? Ok. Oui, encore un petit peu, puis on va lui faire les quêtes. Let's go.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Il a un œil. Comme dingue, je suis juste à ta porte et tu me vois pas, toi, c'est. Bref.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Ok.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They
Chien
must know about
Tarkot et
Darius.
Clayton Darby. On va voir Clayton
Nearby the
Darby, je
church
sais où il
they
est.
just mentioned.
Ça... Non, il est là-bas. Il me semble qu'il était ici quelque part, non? Je me suis perdu. On va faire un tour. Il est peut-être là-bas. Non. Ah, il est là.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Ok, on va aller voir Richard là. Il est à l'arrière.
Some of us come to this world.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu. Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Ok, on nous l'a dit sur lui, c'est pas mal.
I'll leave you.
Lui, je lui parlerai plus tard parce que j'ai la flemme un peu. Il y a une boîte. Toujours voir les boîtes, toujours. Belle. Ok. Refusé du coup. Ils sont où les trucs? Ils sont là-bas.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Encore une fois,
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Bon, je peux parler. Du coup, encore une fois, si vous voulez lire, n'hésitez pas à mettre sur pause. J'évite de trop regarder les trucs, prendre trop de temps.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Ok, je vois,
All right.
je vais pas rentrer tout de suite.
I shall leave you alone.
Je vais pas rentrer tout de suite, je rentrerai une autre fois. Découvrir les secrets des deux là. Je suis pas venu pour ça, je suis venu pour la quête principale.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
On a pu rentrer sans merde, comment ça s'appelle? Hypnotisé, je crois. Ouais, hypnotisé. Plus sa maison, parce qu'on sait jamais, tu sais, des fois il y a des trucs intéressants. De l'argent, ou genre ça, tu vois. Là. Là, au fouiller.
It's locked.
Souvent les trucs qui sont fermés, c'est soit il faut réussir à obtenir les clés des personnages en les tuant, soit il me semble qu'on peut aussi les obtenir sans les tuer. Vas-y pour obtenir un truc comme ça sans les tuer. Je dirais qu'il va y avoir Dorothy Crane. Bon, je vais faire un petit truc. Hop. Hop, voilà. Ok. Elle doit bien ou c'est moi là? On va fouiller parce que on sait jamais s'il me faut des shillings. Ouais, j'arrive après, biche. Comme d'hab, mettez sur quoi si vous voulez lire. D'autres trucs. Pas l'air. Monter. Alors. Au bruit. C'est bizarre. C'est ce que j'ai dit.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel. Hand me that scalpel.
What can I do, Doctor?
Je vais mettre à peu près ce que je
I need to
pense.
perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes,
Que je
Doctor.
pensais être bon. On verra.
He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy. Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Don't question me, nurse. I need a drain. Now.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you alright,
merde.
Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
Adrénaline. Ça fait redémarrer son
A
cœur.
dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor. We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Yes, I know. You are true to your reputation, Dr. Reed. Dedicated and precise. No one could have done more.
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
I doubt you're here to test my
Okay.
bedside manners.
Juste avant de te parler, il n'y a pas eu de petit truc à récupérer.
To what do I
Ah
owe
bon.
this
It's locked, all right.
Et lui, il n'y a plus les manches. Hein? Non?
This
Ok.
is an unfitting place for the illustrious Dr. Reed. You shouldn't be here.
Je vais lui parler. Hein.
I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
Alors attends, elle se lave les mains, mais son tablier, elle est pas capable de se laver. Tu te fous de ma gueule.
Your heart might be in the right place, but you can't carry on with this blackmail. For God's sake, Dorothy, it's extortion. It's a serious crime.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
Bon, là, elle a raison par contre.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
Alors aussi, il y a un truc à savoir, c'est que sur Jonathan, Jonathan comme vous voulez, il vient d'une famille assez riche, il me semble. On le verra au bout d'un moment dans l'histoire. On verra sa famille. Il me semble que même qu'on verra sa maison. Je sais plus trop, mais il me semble.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Alors, je sais que charmer, c'est le pire choix qu'on peut faire. Il me semble qu'après, elle va... Ah, sincèrement, ce cas, il va falloir la tuer. étreindre, bah, on la tue, mais on a l'XP. On a accès à un coffre, mais en vrai, je m'en fous un peu du coffre. Sur l'épargne, elle sera toujours là, on peut lui acheter des trucs. Il me semble même qu'on peut accéder à la dernière ligne des traitements. Je vais l'épargner.
No. Your place is here. Jailing you would be an even greater crime. So, here is my proposition. I'll look the other way on your little enterprise. In exchange, you will resign from the Pembroke Hospital and provide me with medical supplies when the need arises.
Dr. Reed! That sounds like a business proposition. My accomplice, then?
No, just a privileged client. My research may require the occasional rare piece of equipment or ingredient. I'll pay good coin in exchange, fair and honest, to help finance your noble endeavors.
We have ourselves a deal, Doctor. Good customers are always welcome.
Yes, Nurse Crane. We have a deal.
Oh. Niveau de charme. Niveau 2. Ok, pour le moment ça m'intéressera pas. Donc là vous voyez j'ai fait un bon geste. Ça me dit que... Comment ça s'appelle? Ça me dit que mes choix auront une conséquence. Et là vu qu'elle est toujours en vie, elle est passée où? Je voulais lui acheter les trucs moi. Elle est là. Je peux pas.
It's locked, all right.
Eh vas-y ça m'énerve. Tant pis, faudrait que je revienne pour lui acheter les trucs. Je vais retourner à Lady Ashbury. C'est que ça. Ok, bon. Chier. Il arrête de changer, mais il m'énerve. Ok, non. Voilà. Il y en a un troisième, non? Il n'y a pas du stuff. Bon, du coup, je le retrouve au Pembroke Hospital. A tout de suite. Ok, alors nous voilà au Pembroke Hospital et let's go. Oh, chaud.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Ouais, quand même, ça par contre elle aurait pu le dire avant quoi. Tu sais, tu poses des questions mais elle répond pas.
You killed him. He trusted you. And you killed him.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
No need to apologize, my lady. I know exactly what you endure.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
I must confess I have not put an end to the blackmail, my lady. Unfortunately, I could not bring myself to do it.
I'm so disappointed in you, Jonathan. I didn't expect this from you.
Lady Ashbury, you yourself admitted how ridiculous the sum of money was. I can assure you it was all used for charitable ends.
Well, you are full of surprises, aren't you, Jonathan? All right, say I trust you, but you will still pay the ransom. That is only fair. After all, it was you who failed to bring this problem to a satisfactory conclusion.
I believe I could agree to that.
And since a lady always keeps her promises,
Ouais.
I will now answer any questions you may have.
Alors, c'est elle qui bouffe des gens et c'est à moi de payer. Tu te fous de ma gueule. Par contre, j'espère pas que ça va me bouffer mes shillings que j'ai sur moi parce que je vais pleurer sinon. On va lui poser des questions. Ouh, ouais, vas-y, allez, go.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
Ok, ça va.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Alors ça, il me semble qu'il va le demander à tout le monde. C'est étonnant, mais bon. C'est le truc qui va... À chaque vampire, il va lui demander. C'est débile. Tranquille.
Excuse my forwardness, but... Are you my maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
Et...
A vampire? Is that what I am? What we are?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you shall remain.
Ok.
Are you an Ekon too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires, but all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
Donc ça c'est ce que j'expliquais il me semble dans le premier épisode, qu'il y a plusieurs types de vampires. Et là, nous du coup on est un Ekon. Et il me reste encore d'autres questions, puis j'arrêterai là.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well trained.
Though I can't be certain. More than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society, and like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting.
Ok.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't the city I remember.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad.
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson from experience.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
Ouais, c'est bon là, encore combien de questions là? Il y en a beaucoup.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then?
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, scowls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
What type of vampire is a Scowl?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London vampire society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
And no one suspected you of the murders?
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
Alors, par contre, le que vous a accordé à la jeunesse éternelle, c'est un petit peu débile. Parce que elle a clairement dit qu'il fallait pas révéler les créateurs. Voilà, bon, le stagérien, il va se prendre un toast.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
Bon, je pensais qu'il allait se prendre plus un truc bien.
I bid
bien
you
trash.
farewell. For now, my lady.
Mais bon, apparemment non.
I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Ouais, ça je le ferai après. Du coup, j'espère que cet épisode vous aura plu. Si vous a plu, n'hésitez pas à le liker, commenter, partager. Abonnez-vous en activant la cloche pour recevoir les notifications de quand je sors les vidéos. Et voilà, c'est tout. C'est Clément. Ciao.